Kalimba.
Oh, hi. Yeah, we're recording. Welcome to a new podcast. Don't really know what it's called. We're just
Not So Extreme Podcast?
Not So Extreme Podcast. Cool. NSEP.
Incep.
Incep.
Inception.
I can't. I can't do that.
No, it's
We'll figure it out.
Inception.
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 All right, so
choose you.
we're doing something new today. Basically, it's all randomized. That's our first topic right there. It already fell out of the hat. It's great. What is it, Tony?
Topic number 1. Cosplay. What have you done and or want to do cosplay-wise? I have always wanted to go to a convention, cosplayed as Sora, and I finally have the outfit to do it.
Yeah.
And the Keyblade thanks to Megan.
Yeah.
I want to go to a convention and just full-on Sora that shit.
You got that as a Halloween costume for that one party, right?
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need a reason to use it.
What was
now.
I then? Oh, was I Spider-Man?
You were Spider-Man that year, and that's when
Because-
you decided you liked the tight underwear.
Yeah.
Oh, MeUndies?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
well, I had they were like spandex underwear, and I was like, these are kind of nice.
Oh.
Good job, Underoos.
Yeah, but we had to go in the gas station over by Megan's old apartment, and I was dressed as Spider-Man inside the
great.
gas station.
Do you think you'd want to cosplay as Spider-Man at a con? I really wanted to go, and I need people
That's
to go with.
stressful.
I'll
You
go
need to
with
work
you.
out for that. That's like,
Work out for it.
yeah.
I am.
What?
I'll be a
Spider-Man?
chubby Sora. I don't give a
No.
fuck.
Have you seen cosplayers? It doesn't matter what size you are.
Well, I know that, but
Or
the
what
way
your
I would
physique.
want to do
Oh.
it.
Matters about the size of your heart.
Yeah, Nate.
Shut up.
Because with great power
Zeus.
comes great
Oh
responsibility.
my gosh.
But back to the topic. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to go to a convention of some sort. It's hard though because we don't really have any.
So we
Here.
have one called WizardCon, and it is a small version of Comic-Con,
Mm-hmm.
but it is just as fun,
Is it
and
worth
it
going
is
to?
so cool. Oh my god, yeah.
WizardCon. Is it just about magic
No,
stuff? Or...
it is. It's literally Comic-Con. They just call it WizardCon because it's not as big, and they don't do as many sources or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is pretty much the exact same, and there's so many people.
There
that
is also
dress
one
up.
close by, since we're in St. Louis. There's, I don't remember what it's called, but I believe it's over in Illinois.
Oh.
And it's
I
not
know-
too far away at a convention center from St. Louis.
I was gonna say I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on in Chicago,
Yeah.
which
I
is
mean,
a bit
that's-
of a drive, but it's not.
Yeah, but I
that
mean,
bad.
when you think of where we're at, like, it's not that bad.
I mean, we were gonna drive up to Chicago for the weekend
Like,
for a concert. And...
I mean, we were going to go that one night until we realized we all had to work.
Do you
So-
know about that?
No, what?
Oh, we were just all in the car at one night, and we were just driving around.
It was like 3, 4 in the morning, and we were just kept driving, and finally we were just like,
Oh.
do you just want to go to Chicago? And we were like, yeah, and we started heading that way, and then we were like, wait, we all have to work tomorrow.
Oh my god.
We stopped at like a gas station rest stop, and we got drinks and snacks, and we turned around and came
Oh
back.
my
Bad
gosh.
We almost did it, though.
If you
Yeah.
don't want to drive out that far, Anime STL comes to St. Louis a lot.
Really?
It's like it's like literally a small convention just
Well, here's
for
the thing,
St.
you-
Louis.
You don't have to take a car. You could take the train.
Yes,
Oh, that's true.
But
I mean,
That's how we were gonna
Yeah,
go.
we were gonna do
Closer.
the train.
Yeah.
I was so upset because I had never been on a train. So I was like super psyched because I was like, I've never been to Chicago. I'm
Oh,
doing
man.
that. I've never been on a train. Gonna go do that. And then COVID's like, you got plans?
Yeah. We'll get there someday. We'll do it at some
So,
point.
is there anything you wanted to...
So currently I'm like trying to put together a panties and stocking cosplay with my friend Amaya.
I was gonna say
and,
at the same time.
No, I'm gonna be Panty.
Sword and gun.
She's gonna be stocking, and so I've just been like nonstop like looking up stuff, and we're gonna be doing like the casino outfits, so not like their normal outfits.
Casino outfit's the best one though.
I love it. I'm like, I'm gonna have a white boa. I'm gonna be like flipping it everywhere, and then Overtone has
Shoot
like
people up
has
hands.
yellow hair
Mhm.
toner, so I'm gonna get my like turn it like yellow, and since I'm like already a little bit blonde in certain areas, I think it'll look cool.
Yeah.
And that way, I'm like, I don't have to deal with buying a wig
Now,
because
have
those
you-
things are expensive.
Have either of you been to a convention of any sort before?
Wizard
Not a
is the only
cosplay
one.
convention or like anything like that. I've been to a bowling convention.
People don't dress up at those. Like,
No, I mean,
like a big pig
well-
walking around.
Yeah.
Big
Well,
bowling
they
pin.
well,
dress
actually,
up
no.
for
Actually,
those.
yes.
Yeah.
I have seen a big bowling pin
Yeah.
like walking around. There actually is.
They let you.
Yeah, it's just nobody does it.
Fuck, I would. I'll be the ball. Come at me, bitch.
No, but for a lot of like some of the national tournaments I've been to, I've like there's conventions right at the start on like opening day,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a lot of the pros there and everything. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to WizardCon to meet Ian Somerhalder. It was a birthday gift from my aunt, and that was like the first con I'd ever been to. And I brought my little cousin Faith because I was like, I know you like that kind of shit, so come with me so I don't have to go alone.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh my god, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And that's those shot glasses I have with like
Yeah.
Jack Skellington, and then I have like the Immortal Kombat like
Mhm.
glass.
You
I
got
got
that?
that from there. It was, and they had a lot of really cool stuff there, and like a bunch of like artists from around here. Like, so like going to the Wizard Con was like supporting local
Mm-hmm.
artists. So it was so cool.
Always
That is
support
nice.
the locals.
Oh my god.
I don't
yeah.
know what I would want to cosplay as.
Miles
But, like,
Morales.
that's where I'm at. Like I
like-
haven't thought about it. I don't know.
I like the
Make-
group cosplays though.
Oh
Like
my
if we all got together and like picked a thing,
Dude.
that would be a lot of
You'd
fun.
I
make
wanted-
a great Inuyasha, Brandon.
Oh my
Oh
god.
That could be cool.
Oh my god.
You just gotta shave.
No.
Brandon's like, that's not my kind of anime.
I think if I had to go to a con though, I'd probably be like a Comic-Con though.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
definitely.
And then you know what? Actually, if I could, I'd do like an Iron Man suit or something.
Oh heck
That'd be kinda cool.
Rad.
You would. That would be perfect.
Do one of
for
those
you,
like
yeah.
papercraft Halo suits.
Dude, as long as it looked cool, I'd be down.
Right.
Get the good
Dude,
foam.
You see a lot of like
Mom, get the good foam. I'm sorry. Sorry.
when you go to those things, you see a lot of like really well put together stuff that's just like it's not something that they like paid someone else to do. Like there was like a bunch of Transformer people who just used
Yeah.
boxes and like
Mhm.
Yeah.
like did amazing art on those boxes and it looks really good.
Yeah, I could
So-
provide you
and
with
that's-
some of those.
That's
Oh, yeah.
A lot of
These are
people,
sourced.
a lot of
These
people
are
just
sourced.
do. They do like thrift shopping and they just
yeah,
make it
that's
through that.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
be doing.
Hey,
I'm-
Macklemore that shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love like so like I feel like Halloween's like a cosplay for me because like around like a few months before Halloween I'll decide what I want to do and then I put together outfits like
Oh, yeah.
using
You always go
oh
to
my god
Goodwill.
I
for,
always
like,
go to
Halloween
Goodwill
stuff.
I mean,
and that to
Halloween
me
in
is like
general-
cosplaying because
Yeah.
I'm like
Halloween in general is pretty much like
yeah.
cosplay.
Well, it's
Yeah.
dress
all
up.
around. Yeah, that's all it is.
Oh, and I love it and I always go like all out. I'm like, well, I shouldn't say always because there's like 2 years ago I did not, and then this past year my Halloween kind of got ruined. It was
Well,
like
everybody's Halloween kind of
yeah.
got ruined.
Well, yeah.
I bought
Well, it wasn't just
expensive
COVID.
cosplay
It was
clothing.
Yeah.
yeah, but
But yeah, I've seen like super cool like group cosplays.
oh, I'd love to do.
That
We
would be
just need to
awesome.
agree on something.
Do a Persona
Sentai.
5.
Tonto Sentai.
You, me,
Force.
Jenny,
Please.
we all play Persona, but I don't know anyone else who really plays it.
That are the Power
That's
Rangers.
the thing
We've
though,
got
like
people.
even with
Yeah,
that
you
like
could do Power
narrowed down
Rangers.
to like a single thing, I still don't know what
You
I
can
wanna
bring
be.
Jerome. We'll have the Black Ranger.
I wouldn't know which version I would want to be, like which Persona I would want to be.
Oh, you're thinking Persona?
No, like which Persona, like the first one, the second, third, fourth,
Oh, I was
like
thinking
which
5.
characters.
5 is cool.
If I was
Gives you an
if I was
excuse.
5, I would be Futaba, 100%.
Yeah. It'd give you an excuse to buy red and black checkered pants.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you do the school outfit.
I mean,
Why
It
wouldn't you dress up as the?
well, like a lot of times when people do cosplays, like they'll go for a convention for the weekend, and they'll have like multiple outfits they'll wear each day.
Sorry, we're excluding the other two
I
because
know,
we're the
I
only
know,
ones
I
that
know.
do Persona.
I see.
Sorry,
They have
we'll
good,
something
good,
stop.
like about to burst out of them.
Yeah, they're just like,
Nate, you're such a joker.
I don't know.
haha.
No, I'm just being a
Alright.
dick. I don't care.
Oh,
You'd be a good
what else do we
Ryuji.
have?
I'd have to bleach my hair.
This one.
She's got to do.
All right, we're
panties
picking out a new
somehow.
topic. Switch leaks and crossplay platforms.
Ooh, are you serious?
So
I have not heard about
Who
that.
has what about
So
that?
here's the thing: there were some Switch leaks.
Okay.
But it was only like 4 games, and they weren't even like Nintendo games. It wasn't like Legend of Zelda or Mario or anything.
Okay.
It was like Secret Neighbor and like
Third-party leaks.
Snowplower or something. Yeah, it was all third-party leaks.
Euro Truck
but
Simulator.
Here's the thing, though, and I was kind of getting into that because I was thinking about the Switch leaks. This is actually mine. Although they're not big, it kind of got me thinking about the crossplay thing with like Secret Neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys think about everybody kind of switching to that crossplay platform where everybody can play with like each other?
I love
With
it.
some games, it's a good idea, but I don't know how they would do it control-wise with certain games. It's kind of like with survival games, okay, whatever. But with like competitive shooters, I feel like some people would have more of an edge with a faster.
Oh, well,
Because
for sure.
PC is very
Yeah,
high-end.
like
well, you already
PC
have
versus
that.
Xbox and PlayStation.
and I'm not a big fan of it.
Well, they do that with like filters. You can filter out being like, I don't want to play with anybody using keyboard and mouse control scheme.
But
I
see,
want controller or like either way.
here's the issue with that though is I've run into this a lot because I do like Warzone tournaments, like just small things with a buddy of mine.
You just so badly wanted to bring up Warzone.
And well, here's the thing is you have to have crossplay on.
Yeah.
So a lot of these like upper tournaments and everything, if it's crossplay, you have to have crossplay on, because it won't just let you stay in your own bracket like that, because that's not where the money's at. But the problem is you're at such a disadvantage. Some games have it to where you can like you'll get like an almost an aimbot kind of where it'll kind of like hit scan over to it.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that? Like trying to have that small balance in for like the consoles that are at a disadvantage for PC.
Well, like I said, I think if they gave you a filtering system where you could be like, I'll play with PC players, but only if they're using a controller. Because I know some games already do that. But like things like the Switch, it's just a different control setup. So I think unless you're using like a pro controller, the Switch might be at a disadvantage. Unfortunately, because I love the Switch.
Which makes
Thing,
sense.
The feeling of crossplay is a really good feeling. Because gaming is about coming together. It's a community. And I would love to be able to like play with some random fucking friend who just only does PC on some game we actually have to get. Exclusives are fine. And I love that for single player games. But when it comes to multiplayer, I'd like them to branch out more. Like Fortnite did it, and they're doing really fucking well for it.
Fortnite did it
I
on
just feel
accident.
like some people have more of an edge.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like I said again. Do you? Because like even Fortnite has it. They had it for a hot minute where it was you could like aim in and it would kind of like track to the head or track to the body at least.
Yeah.
Whereas PC doesn't have that because you already have good aim.
It doesn't have a snap assist.
Exactly.
Which I'm fine with.
I just like the thought of being able to like play with my friends, because like right now like I mostly play on PlayStation and the rest of my friends play on Xbox, and now I'm getting a PC, so that's probably going to be my switching platform. And it's like with certain games, like it's nice to have like a branch out of like games that we can play together. Like obviously we're never going to be able to like, well, I wouldn't say never, but we're probably nowhere near being able to play any game together no matter what we're on. But it is nice to have more variety, like even just like when we were talking about it the other day, like, hey, let's try and do some remote playing, and it was like so difficult to like think of games where we could crossplay because we all are on like different platforms.
Yeah.
So,
I think if you take the competitive aspect out of it all,
I was just about to say that.
like not
yeah,
competitive
like
ones.
there's
are
no
fun.
reason at all for the argument against crossplay.
No, and I don't have
Yes,
anything against
exactly.
it. I
100%.
honestly, I think a big thing in there is also affordability, because if you think about it, like a Switch is only what, like $100-$200.
Yeah.
Whereas like a new, not even that, it's cheaper.
It's more.
No,
More. Are you
Well,
sure?
the Switch Lite it starts at $200.
yeah,
No, 'cause the
regular
Switch-
one is
cheaper one is
$300
The
when
regular
it came
Switch
out.
dropped, like the black joysticks, it dropped to like $100 or $200.
All right.
Yeah.
It was
I think it's a
fairly
$50 difference between the Lite and the regular Switch.
All I know is
Okay,
when it
so
first came out, it
200,
was
250.
stupid expensive. Go on.
I know, but it tanked because nobody wanted it. Like it tanked so hard, and then that like Christmas right after it came out, man, it tanked to like $200. But now you have like the Series X and the PlayStation 5, which is what, like $500?
Hard to get, yeah.
Hard to get, like $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing
And then
is
look at
like
PC.
I'd rather just play on PC. That way I can always download a game and I don't have to like switch my console, because like I'm just like I know there are a lot of people like who will buy it. I'm like not one of those people. I'm
No,
like,
that's-
oh
I get
god,
that.
I didn't buy the Switch until like a year after it had been out for a year.
It's to your benefit. It's
Well,
only to your benefit.
Yeah.
And see, and this is kind of where I'm at. I know you think exclusives should stay exclusives, but like personally, I think
Exactly what I said.
that well, okay, fair. I might be twisting a little bit there, but I do think like even the single players at least should hit PC, as long as it's through like their marketplace
Oh yeah.
or
Sony's
something that they can
Sony's
do.
doing that a
Well,
lot
Epic
now.
does that.
Well, not just that, but
A
I mean,
lot of
like, I'm
companies do
specifically
that.
pointing towards Sony here because
Yeah.
most of the good single-player exclusives are all through Sony.
Yeah, they're starting to do that now. Like Horizon Zero Dawn is playable on PC.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Heavy Rain, which was the other one, Ellen Page game.
Beyond
Lost
Two
Souls.
Souls.
Lost Souls, Beyond Lost.
Beyond
Two Souls. Yeah.
Oh my god,
And then the robot one.
we were getting there.
Whichever, I don't know.
Yeah, all three of them. Those are available on PC now too.
Okay, so at least they're
So
branching
they're
out on
starting. It's slowly
Robot.
happening. Because I wouldn't. I'd love it if all you need is a PC,
that. Mhm.
and like you'd obviously have to buy them through Sony or whatever.
Well,
But if
I
all the
think-
exclusives were available on PC.
Well, I think a PC is more of an investment, in my
Oh
own
yeah,
opinion.
definitely.
Because you can go cheap and just start adding more parts in.
Mhm.
But I think the biggest issue is that the parts are so expensive no matter what. Like, you can't really go out and buy a $500 PC
No.
like
And not at
as
all.
you would a console, because a console is
Yeah.
still like cheap
Yeah,
enough
that's
to where
the
you can
benefit
still
you get
play
with
on
a
a decent
console.
level.
That's why I was going to come back to we need more cross-play. I don't want to have to, like, you know, because the way you were saying it, it sounded like you'd rather it all switched over to a PC platform. But that's extremely expensive.
No,
And
I'm
the
not.
accessibility of console, but with cross-play, would be really nice for everyone to get.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
they had the
I
Steam
was
console.
thinking
If
It
you
was
remember, they
not
tried making the Steam
good.
console. It wasn't good, but I'm saying they tried.
those were
They
overpriced
sure
for
tried.
what they were too, though.
They
But,
sure,
like,
God, they sure
Basically,
tried.
what I'm saying is, could you imagine if
Oh,
they
yeah.
actually could perfect that? Yeah, and perfect something like that. Make it, even if it was like an extra $100 or something, like a $600 Steam console.
Well, right now the Series X and the PS5 are basically
Cheap PCs.
like small, like affordable PCs. All the parts in there are AMD,
Mm-hmm.
and they're capable of ray tracing, so they're up to standards with high-end stuff.
Well, but again, like I said, PC's evolving so much every day that
That's true.
it doesn't matter. Like, even if a console catches up at one
so
point,
expensive to keep up
and
with
that's
these.
what I'm saying.
If it wasn't as expensive, and I get why it is, because it's so high-end.
But what I'm saying is if you were
Takes
able
up.
to at least get your foot in the door with like a $500 purchase for a PC, would you
Yeah.
switch over?
That was
I would keep my console accessibility. And not just because of the exclusives that are already still there for the counterpoint,
Mm-hmm.
but because consoles are just more accessible overall, and I want to support that to keep that around. If we all switched over to PC at some point, consoles might die out, and I'd rather they didn't.
Well, the gaming industry would still be around. Consoles, you're right, consoles made out, not all, because honestly,
it's good
Switches, like, Nintendo's never going to put those games on PC.
It's good for
No.
students.
Never.
Heck no.
It's good for families. It's good for people on a budget. And it expands the gaming industry past what could have stayed a niche market
Yeah.
if it was just PC.
Mhm.
It's
at that time.
it's also just like less of a headache too.
It is
'cause
much less of a headache.
I love my PC. If I had the option, the like recommend one thing for anybody is to like invest in like a good gaming PC. But it's a long process,
Mhm.
and little tiny things can happen that just mess things up, that end up into like hour-long debug
Well, and
processes
And that's kind
that
of
you
why
just don't deal
like,
with on consoles.
consoles. Like a lot of people like consoles, they don't have to deal with it. They,
Yeah,
they
you can
get
forget
it.
about
Someone else has already done it for them.
It's
like
a very wholesome concept
Yeah.
to just get a console and
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
a game.
and
Turn
I-
on the thing and forget about the box.
It's a feeling you don't get from PC gaming, and that's what it gets
No.
me. Right at the heart
Yeah,
of it.
okay.
It's a feeling you don't get from PC gaming. And they're both great. I want consoles to stay.
Yeah.
No matter
I
what.
I don't want them
No,
to
I'm
go
not
away.
against, yeah, no, in no
Yeah.
way am I against
Definitely
consoles.
not.
I'm just answering your question before.
Yeah, no,
would I completely switch to? I would.
But
Okay.
but also
I would keep
like
consoles.
for like kids, like my
Yeah,
13-year-old
families, yeah.
brother.
Mhm.
I'm not paying to help
Oh,
him
no,
make
no,
a
no.
PC.
Yeah, you can have a
And
virus
then
from.
No,
I'm
yeah.
also,
Pornhub.
and also I'm not gonna share my PC with him as an
Exactly,
adult
yeah.
because I don't want him to mess up my stuff. So like consoles, in that case are also better for kids, and they can kind of decide what they like growing up.
Yes.
Like I'm just getting into making a PC, and it has been a process, and I already had half of it done for me, and it's still been a long process.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna sound crazy, but personally, I wish they would still be making games for like the N64, the GameCube, the PlayStation
God, that
2.
would be
I wish
cool.
games were still going on like that, even without the graphic buffs, just so like everybody can appreciate like what it was and what it is now. Because not everybody gets that. Not everybody like. I grew up with an N64 or like and like a GameCube or something. But not everybody gets that. Now they grow up with like an Xbox One or a Series X, and it's like, oh, here's all these high title games, and none of these like classic bangers.
Yeah.
And as much as I agree with that, that's why I'm all for HD reports. Because of the fact that those retro consoles are becoming so extremely obsolete, and nobody really has the right CRTs for it anymore, except for us because we appreciate retro gaming since we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard to keep such an obsolete system going, especially since, like, if it dies out, all you're going to get is another pre-owned, possibly going to die soon. They don't make them anymore is the problem. So keeping up, making games on that, companies would really have to put more money into it, and that's just not something they'll ever make money back on. Which is why I like HD reports.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I like. Because they're bringing those games back. Mario 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy 1, Not 2, what the fuck, are all together on the 3D All-Stars pack. And that's a really good way for kids that were thinking about getting a Switch to get into retro gaming. And
That
more
is
of the
true.
good past stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without the need of the hardware that's super obsolete.
And also, like, I love going back and playing old games. But, like,
I still have my Super
there's
Nintendo.
the thing about, like, the way you remember it in your mind's eye is not the way that it actually looks most of the time. So you'll sit down, you'll look at it, and you'll play it on the original hardware, and you're like, ooh.
Ooh, I have a counter argument to that, though. It's not always about the graphics. And
Well,
if you
no,
can
not
appreciate
at
the
all.
simplistic look, the gameplay is what
Right.
gets
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's true,
right
but there are
there.
certain things like Super NES games, those never age. You can play a Super NES game today, and it will look just as good as it did back then. But you play, like, go back and try and play Metal Gear Solid 1. Ooh.
That's newer
See,
than the
that's a little different though, because
that's
that's
newer than
when
the Super
that was a
Nintendo.
transitional period, pretty much.
Well,
Yeah, that
pixels
was-
don't age.
They were trying to get
Well,
that
and that's what I'm
3D
saying.
for
Like,
that.
pixels. If it's a pixel game, it's a pixel game. Now look at a game like
Solid is actually the second Metal Gear.
Yeah, I know
That's on the PlayStation. It's a 3D model, so they were trying to transition into 3D.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making
different,
sure.
different
Sorry.
graphic
Because I know
styles
there's a
age
metal. I know
differently.
there's a Metal Gear on older consoles, and I didn't
just like
want him to
leads
think
every
he
side
was...
saga.
No, I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, go
No,
on.
like look at
No,
the
it's
look at the
fine.
graphics of like Super Mario 64 or Donkey Kong 64. Like I love the games, but man, the graphics were awful.
Very outdated now, but back at the time, that was the shit, right?
Oh, well,
Yeah, but then like
Creme de
look
la
at
creme.
as soon as you get into Super Mario Sunshine, it's an immediate flop.
It looks timeless.
Exactly.
It looks
Yeah.
timeless.
And it's like it was in that transitional period, and that's the whole thing with that though is like
Yeah.
you can't.
the GameCube is them perfecting something they went for on the Super Nintendo.
Well, here.
Exactly.
Let me phrase it to you this way. So, Super Mario Sunshine,
Yeah.
Wind Waker.
Yeah.
They're both graphic styles that look amazing. They still look amazing. However, if you go back and you turn on the GameCube and you load up Wind Waker, I'm using that as the example because that's like the one I've seen most recently. It looks fine. The graphics themselves look perfect. But it's not in HD. It's coming out in like 320p, and it's grainy, and you can see it as so like even if they upped it to 1080p without doing the HD remake like they did for Wind Waker, that's a huge step up for what it was.
And
You know what I mean?
And I agree, but with enough detail, you can hide some of that. Let's use Twilight Princess as an example. Because that came out around the same time that the Wii hardware had come out, and it was like I believe a launch title for the Wii as well as on the GameCube.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That game, even on the GameCube today, and I played it very recently on my CRT,
Yeah.
looks fucking gorgeous because
yeah.
of all the high detail polygons they put in it. With enough work, you can make any older game look great. And that game got an HD that doesn't even look much different because it already was fantastic.
Yeah,
You know,
it just
it really
makes it
depends.
polishes it more. It cleans
it.
up all of the grainy pixels that you get from using.
We've gone so long on this topic. I'm getting urged to pick a new one.
No, not you, Nate. You pick
No,
Is
you
it
picked
time
the
to
first
move
one.
on?
Pick again.
Did anybody else have anything to say? Any closing remarks or anything?
No, that Princess's
Okay.
best Zelda game. Go on.
Ooh.
No, go on.
That's
Breath of the
another
Wild
thing
isn't
we
as
can-
bad as you guys think it is.
Oh, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. That's just the wrong answer.
back in the hat.
Oh, we're doing
I
this
gotta get
now.
into this. We'll be here for 7 hours.
All right.
We can't do that after.
Ooh, I got my own topic.
Aw.
It's him.
Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes on the Switch. What do we think?
Ooh, I'm
Do
excited.
it.
Because
It's a thing that's happening.
I think
It's a confirmed rumor that's happening.
Okay.
It's not announced yet. It's a confirmed rumor.
I think this is something that should have happened a long time ago, no matter what anybody thinks. All Pokemon games should have been port forwarded, and it should have been
Yeah.
just thrown straight up into the newest console, no matter what. I don't even
think
care if you'd
that's-
have to pay for it again. I've said this before, and I think I said this on the last one. If they put every single game, even if they just update the graphics, whatever, and they make it a new remake,
even have to update
or if they just put the old
Just
2D
port it.
pixelated graphics and port it over,
Port it.
Question
I
when
would
you're done.
still buy it, and I would still play the shit out of it. It does not matter. Just do it. Like,
I could
everyone
play
will buy it, I promise you.
Original Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, as it was on the DS on the Switch, I would be happy.
Exactly, me too.
How the hell are they going to do DS games on the Switch?
It's a remake, so it's going to be remade
So
like
no
they
touchscreen
did.
stuff.
The Switch is touchscreen.
I get it.
Well,
but
you don't
how
have a
would they do the
stylus,
dual
though.
screen thing.
Well,
You'd
they
have to
would.
put it sideways like they do with the.
No,
You
it's
also-
gonna
you
be
also
a full
don't-
remake.
you also don't have a
So the
stylus.
whole game,
yeah,
the game.
My
it's
point
going to be a
being-
development.
Are they going to completely change how it controls the menus? Because you
probably.
had to, like in Sun and Moon, you had to.
I would think
Yeah,
it would.
it's not going to be a 1-to-1.
I would think it would
And
be
I don't think they could
more.
put the Ranger games on it because of that as well. That'd have to be a 3DS thing because it specifically uses the touchpad to capture Pokemon.
Not unless they came out with the game with an
You
attachment.
also have two
well,
joysticks now, which you didn't have on the DS.
Mhm.
well, but see, here's the thing.
Just
Again, like I said, it's kind of like if they came out with the Ranger game and they did a remake of it, and then they were like, "Hey, here's a compatible stylus that comes with the game."
I would love that. And it
Or
better come
they'd
with the
update
game.
Well-
update the actual game elements so that instead of doing this, you're doing something else.
Yeah, you would probably be
That
doing
feels
something else.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I see is the last thing I want is for them to do a fucking vertical flip like they did for DS games on the Wii U
Mhm.
gamepad.
Oh, no.
No, I don't
worse.
think they would do that. I think
No.
they
Oh,
learned their
God.
lesson there.
Because
That sounds
it's
terrible.
not a
It was
direct
bad.
it's not a direct port of Diamond and Pearl. It's a full remake from the ground
as
up.
long as they're
See,
not going to try
I'm-
touch controls on it too hard.
I'm super
Go for it.
excited about this because I never got to play the games growing up.
Oh man,
The-
you're in for a treat.
Only thing, there are very few games I got to play. We only ever had an Xbox. I got my first 3DS when I was like 15.
No, you got a DS.
ADS, okay.
The 3DS you
no,
have
oh
is
yeah,
mine.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I got ADS when I was
Sounds
like
like it
15, and then by that time I didn't even know, like, I wasn't really into the gaming community so I didn't really know what was fun to play.
Mhm.
So, and I didn't have money because I didn't work.
Right.
So,
you
I
played,
never.
like,
I got
Imagine
the
Barbie.
games that my parents got me, and that was it. And so, I'm like super excited about this because I did play Sun and Moon, but I also know that it's not nearly like the best game, the best Pokemon game.
That's the best one on a DS
I
system.
know.
to
Okay,
me.
so this
better than
Sun and
Diamond,
Moon?
better than Diamond and Pearl to me. I love it.
Ooh.
that kind of brings me back to it.
See, yeah, that's what I mostly like. Most people are saying Sun and Moon wasn't like the worst.
Sun and Moon is not the worst.
It's not the
by far,
worst.
but
Like that's not what I'm saying at all.
It's
'Cause
not the
I
best.
enjoyed it, but yeah, that's what I've heard. It's not the best.
We're just getting
or
into hot
most
takes
fun
now.
game.
I want to hear what Brandon has to say
Okay.
before I get
Yeah.
into
Sorry.
hot takes.
So what I was gonna say is one thing I wish they would bring back is how if one person has the game, other people could still play it. Because I remember
Download play.
Well, no, not even. Well, it might have been download
That's
play.
what-
I'm not sure,
I
but
think
it was
that's what it was called.
what it was is if let's say all of us were in this room right now and we all had DSs and I was the only one with Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Everyone could play and race. You would just be a shy guy, like you couldn't be a character,
Yeah,
but
we're
you could
just
still
tethered
play
to
and
your
race,
game.
and you could still do stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
So
Too bad they took that away from us too.
well, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't
Mhm.
understand why they like that was such a good concept to me.
Well,
All the way up to
it's
7 on the 3DS,
it's because instead of selling one copy, they sell 4 copies to play.
Well, but here's the thing: is it's not about that. You're still gonna sell 4 copies when somebody wants it. Like, but games like that, it's
Mm.
just Mario fucking Kart. Like,
Yeah.
It's true though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'm sitting here and we're, oh, Legend of Zelda, and like everybody's now playing Legend of Zelda. No, it's Mario Kart. Like, it's supposed to be a multiplayer game.
You know what? I think the last game that actually had that was Triforce Heroes. It was the Four Swords version, but it was 3 instead of 4.
I know what you're talking about.
I think it did. It was on the 3DS.
You didn't need a game cartridge for every person to play.
No.
I don't think so. But see, I miss that. I miss stuff like that because I feel like you shouldn't have to have everybody have the game in order to beat your game.
I always thought that was stupid if you wanted to play with a DS for Smash Brothers. I feel like if there was a code to be able to hook your DS up to it, that would have been interesting.
Well, personally, I feel like at that point, like, I've run into this a lot, is I buy a game off the Xbox Marketplace. I go on my PC, even though I'm on my same account. Even though I'm on my same account, it will not let me sit there and play the game. So it's like, if you buy it on the Switch, and it's a game that's compatible over to the 3DS or whatever version is up now, you should be allowed to have some kind of code that crosses it over.
Yeah. So I had bought like Overwatch when it first came out on PlayStation, I think.
Oh, Overwatch.
And I couldn't play it on my Xbox when I was playing with everyone else. So I was like, I'm not spending another $60 on this game. Like, what the heck?
Oh,
so
man.
I totally like agree with the whole
we could get
they
into
need
that
to be
forever too.
No, and
get
then
that on track.
That goes back to crossplay.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
It goes
like,
right back to crossplay. I was just about to say that because the Xbox is dead on Overwatch. I'm on an esports team for Overwatch, and it's literally PC is where it's at.
Absolutely.
That's the only time the community there is that is where it's at.
Yes.
But what I was gonna say is how. So we know that Diamond and Pearl remakes are happening. That's supposed to be announced sometime this month in a direct.
When is the direct? Can we just say that right now?
I don't know for sure. I think it's like February 20 something.
Sweet.
If I had to guess right now, I'm gonna say the 24th. I don't know if that's true, but
keep going.
Do we think it's gonna be?
Up.
How do you think the remake's gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be styled after like Sword and Shield, or do you think they're gonna try and do something different since it's?
It'd be interesting to see them do an art style similar to their DS art style.
I want it,
but a bit newer.
I want it to reference the original graphics, but
Chibi.
I don't think
Link's
they're going to do that.
I don't
think what they're going to do is they're going to do what they did with Sword and Shield.
I think so.
If they're going to update it like that, they might as well do that. I mean,
they already have all the models.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're just going to have it that way, like you have your map, all you really have to do is render it up and put the models in. Like, it's not that hard. Well, I mean, I say it's not that hard, but like I've also not developed a game.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But in mind process, it doesn't. I don't think it's that hard to just be like, oh, we already have our layout, we already have models, we can just throw it all together and boom. I think it is going to be good though. I really do.
If I had what I actually wanted, I want to keep the pixels. I want something that's different and looks like fresh, but
you still want the same art.
In the back of my head, I know it's just going to be Sword and Shield graphics, but Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want it.
I mean, it'll look slightly better. But
well, I mean, look at the Alpha Sapphire Omega Ruby. Like, same concept. It wasn't pixels. I mean,
it's gonna be similar. It's gonna be 3D.
But then again, like maybe they should start doing like if we have the same game, maybe they should do it to where you can revert back and just play the original game and not have the updated game.
God,
or just cool. Like
they're not gonna do that though.
Bundle it.
Well, yeah, that's
just
make it like a pre-order bonus.
Again, that's what I've been saying is like they need to just port it up. Just
they should port
it to the
all
Switch.
Their old games.
Exactly.
They could do that easily with the Switch.
But if you buy a ported game, it's only $30. If they make a full remake, it's a full $60.
I don't get the full remake, but I want the port as well. I'll give them even more money that way.
Are we moving on?
Yeah, let's move on.
We're gonna talk about new games in 2021.
That's also mine.
But yeah,
I mean that kind of works.
But that kind of like was going with what we had started.
Specifically, what it said is, what games are you excited for in 2021?
Oh, that was mine.
That was mine.
I wrote it down.
We both did the same thing.
I was like, that's definitely not what that says.
Not Nate's.
Okay.
No, that's
funny.
If we get the other one, we'll just toss that out because mine's the same.
That's all right. I think this is all we have time.
I wrote it.
So this will be our last topic.
Yeah, this will be the last thing we talk about.
What I'm super freaking excited about, sorry Brandon, but I'm like super psyched about Persona 5 Strikers coming out. About the like Atlas is releasing so much this
It's a
year,
big year
and
for Atlas.
I'm like shitting my pants in excitement because on top of that, they're coming out with, I can't say it right, Shin Megami Tensei
Shin Megami Tensei, yeah.
It's
5 and 3 remake.
Yeah.
Like they got 2
Damn.
of those. They have Persona 5 Strikers coming out, and I'm gonna be so broke, and I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm like
I-
so
Kids
excited.
learn from us.
I'm just
Sorry.
hoping that none of them are delayed and they're all going to actually come out this year.
Oh,
But-
don't.
And not star Keanu
Can we
Reeves.
not talk about that?
Um,
Don't
also-
say that.
Brandon
Oh, man,
has
Persona
Brandon was
5.
going to go. I think I know what
2014,
he's
right?
going to say.
I think so, yeah.
So, honestly, I have done research on the new games coming out, and I gotta say it's a
analytics.
it's a disappointment.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
a
no.
lot. It's not
It
a
is
lot.
such a
what?
disappointment for 2021. For
The whole
new
year.
games.
Just like-
as,
just
of right,
everything?
as of
Yeah.
right now.
Oh,
I gotta
okay.
bust my balls this
Except-
I
hard,
was
man.
gonna say,
As
I'm
of
pretty
right now,
excited
there
for
is
Atlas.
Almost
but-
nothing that is good coming out now. The new Resident Evil Village.
Oh, that's another one I'm super
I looked
psyched
at that.
about.
I'm super excited for that, and
Yeah,
I really hope
step
they.
on me,
I really
vamp
hope
on
they
me.
do it in VR,
Right.
like they did Biohazard.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that'd
would
be
so
so
play
cool.
that.
I
I
think
would
it'd
hide
be
under
really
your
good.
skirt.
And put it on the arcade.
There was one other game. I can't remember what it was called.
Is it the one that
Yeah. That we were
it's the
talking about.
PlayStation
The one that was
5?
coming out soon.
Yeah, it's
So
Oh.
there was,
Not part
there
of
was
it.
like a PlayStation exclusive
What was it
that
called?
Nate and I were talking about, and it's
Continue talking about
like you're
other things. I'll look it
basically
up.
you help like lost souls like cross over,
Oh, that's cool.
and it's
So it's Angel Beats.
No, it's like an action.
So it's like
it's a-
stocking and panties.
What is it like a? It's an
kidding.
overworld RPG. Like it's a big
Oh,
world.
I love our.
It reminded me of
RPGs.
Ni no Kuni a lot.
What? The
Ni no
fuck
Kuni.
are you talking
It's a
about?
Ghibli animated.
It had a little cartoon.
movie
I know
that
what that
also a
is.
game.
It
I
had
know
some
what that
cartoonish
is.
graphics.
You're comparing it to a Studio Ghibli project, though.
It's made by Studio Ghibli.
It is?
Yes, it
Oh
is.
shoot!
Fully animated.
Realize I'm not talking about Ni no Kuni right now. I'm talking about the new game you're trying to look up.
No, it's not by. It's not.
Okay,
by,
that's
Ni no
what
Kuni
I.
is made
You
by.
and I
I
were on
know.
the same page. I was
Yeah.
like, "What? This
Where-
game's
I
by
know-
Studio
I've
Ghibli?"
played
Somebody
Ni no
vamp
Kuni.
for me.
Ugh, dude,
Somebody
I don't.
vamp for me. I can't find it.
Oh, another game that was coming out though while we're looking for that is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
heard a little bit about that.
She
I
was
haven't heard
on
much.
screen. I know.
I haven't
She
even
was
seen
on
anything.
screen for less than 3 seconds.
I know.
Rule 34 goes fast.
What is it? Like I haven't
they,
heard.
They introduced
what
a
is it?
female Lombax that's just like
Okay.
Ratchet in like a new universe.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
travel between rifts, and she was on screen. Said one word. Who? Less than 3 seconds.
In like the commercial or the
yeah,
trailer?
in the trailer, and she's everywhere now.
Oh my god.
Now another game.
Good job,
was,
everybody.
Maybe they just want to keep it like keep her like personality like kind of secret and stuff, and that way you're like
Well,
buy
they
it
probably
just to figure
have
it out.
no idea what they're gonna do.
Too late.
Yet.
The furries
Or-
went
oh,
ape
okay.
shit.
Oh my
But
god.
there was also another game I was a little excited for. Now, I wouldn't say too excited because like a lot of the Left 4 Deads are pretty much the same thing every time.
Back for blood.
But Back for Blood, yes.
Mm-hmm. It is
I
a
never played
spiritual
those.
successor made by the people that made Left 4 Dead.
Yep. And
never played
I
them.
don't know if it's a sequel or if it's just a
I
new thing, but it's
believe-
I think it's a zombie survival.
I believe it's not going
Okay.
to have any other characters. It's going to be its own thing.
Is it really?
I believe new characters.
Nate,
Okay.
is Left
But
4
if
Dead
not,
the
at
one
least bring
where
back
we
the
were
2
on that
characters. I
island?
want
No,
Ellis.
that's Dead Island.
Dead
Yeah.
Island.
Bring back
Okay.
Ellis.
Well,
No,
that
a
makes
lot
more
of
sense.
these other games, man, they were just awful. Like they're
I
doing the
found it.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition thing, but I'm pretty sure that's just remake of the game. Like
It
I love the
is.
game to death. I love all of them. Ah, Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
That's what it is.
That's what it's
Nothing
called.
like Ni no Kuni.
It reminds me
and
of
I've
it. You
seen
collect.
that everywhere.
It's huge
But I'm
and
super
animated, and you
excited
collect
for
little
it.
creatures.
yeah, I have a Game Informer all about it, and I read up on it. Looks
Oh,
great.
Then why didn't you know what we were talking about, Tony?
The way you said it was stupid as fuck, and you compared it to a Studio
Right?
Ghibli game.
He says things to me sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying.
It makes sense in
And then
my
he'll
head.
say
That's
it
all
a
that
different way, and I'm
matters.
like, why didn't you say that?
Is
He's
there-
like, I did.
Is there any talk from FromSoft about Elden Ring? Because I really need to know more about that, and I'm really fucking
haven't
upset
heard
right
anything.
now.
I haven't heard anything either.
Look something up. I'm super sad.
Elden
What
Ring.
is that?
What
Like I
even
said,
is it?
The,
I
the
don't.
list this
It
year
is
is
a-
just pretty
It
disappointing.
is an open world RPG made by the Dark Souls developers, and the story was written by George R.R. Martin
Oh.
of Game of Thrones.
There's
Oh, I did hear about that.
there.
I don't know how I feel about that with the ending of Game
People are
of Thrones.
gonna die.
That wasn't from the writer of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
that was
but,
from
like,
the series writers.
Still.
No, the books are great and the author is fantastic, and I'm worried. Because this is not the first time I've been disappointed by a game.
What's the last thing about it in
At
2019?
So
Dude, Anthem's straight up like, they're done with it now. They dropped it.
Sad.
Wait, they're not even doing Anthem 2 anymore?
No.
That good.
No, well,
They're
Anthem,
done.
well, Anthem 1 was so good, they just had to finish the sequel.
They fucked it so hard. They should have just thrown updates into Anthem and been like, hey, we're actually going to make this better.
Well, they said they were going to do that, and they
then
had
they
a
didn't.
team working on it, and they're like, you know what, just cut that team.
Well, yeah,
We're
because
done.
the whole thing just died out so
It
fast.
makes me so sick to my stomach that they cut the team like that after fucking them over so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, look at a
Like,
bunch
let's
of other
rush
games,
you
though.
and
like,
make you
it
put out a
happens.
game that's not finished, and
Right.
then punish you for trying to fix the game we rushed you to put out.
Right after Andromeda's mess.
Yeah.
Right after Mass Effect Andromeda's mess, they fucked BioWare even harder.
EA.
Speaking of,
It's not worth
I don't know
your
when
time.
it's coming out, but the new, speaking of the
New
Mass
Mass
Effect Legendary pack or whatever, the new Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think that's going to be? A sequel?
Well, I know they're doing remakes of 1, 2, and 3, right?
Well, yeah, they're doing the remakes, but they're actually making
They're making a
Mass
new
Effect game.
one
It is
that's
a
not
new one in
Andromeda.
the yes, it is
It's-
a new one in the series.
yeah, a continuation from 3,
Yes.
not its own.
So, well,
franchise.
Andromeda's
They're
it's
dropping Andromeda completely?
Yeah.
well,
they-
no.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If you got to remember, Andromeda's a different.
it's
like-
a different story.
It's a straight up like during the same time as everything, but it is a totally different story.
I get it, but I just...
Like they didn't.
know-
The people in Andromeda didn't even know about the Reapers.
Yeah.
Damn, Skip, if they did, their animations would just go even wonkier. Like,
Yeah.
what do we do?
I think.
How do you talk?
Well, wait. Actually, there was a Shepard like hologram or whatever in the game, wasn't there?
Yeah, but it's sort of like how like the Mandalorian is to the Star Wars series. It's a side story. It's
Okay.
not. It doesn't affect the main line of stories.
In the same
And since it
universe?
failed so bad, they're probably not going to continue it.
No, they shouldn't. There's
Yeah.
no point. Just stay with your main thing, like what you were doing.
Mhm.
But I'm curious if it's a sequel, what are they gonna do?
I don't know because it was
I
pretty
feel like
much
Mass Effect
wrapped
3
up.
was fine.
3 wrapped everything up like pretty tight.
It
I don't
depends
play
on
the
what
games, but I know the
it
story
depends on what
and-
ending you had, and at the very end, the problem is there's an ending where Shepard lives.
Well, I guess that's going to be the canon ending, technically.
But
Unless
the
you
problem
play
is,
as a different
is
character.
that canon ending is where like, what is it? Like mechs or whatever. Not I think I'm, synthetics
There you go.
and humans like fuse together.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty much like if you're a human, you get synthetic parts, and if you're synthetic, you like become.
That's just a step away from Terminator.
I mean, what I know, but like that's what I'm saying is
The way I'd like them to do it is to have a new protagonist and bring in a lot of the side pieces from the original trilogy. A lot of the characters that made it.
Yeah.
so. Me personally, I want a prequel.
A prequel.
I want a prequel.
Okay.
I think that's a nice idea.
Where would they go with that?
I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head,
'Cause
but
that's interesting considering.
thinking about it, either because you have the whole thing of why like Shepard was the last one on his crew.
Okay.
You have that whole thing. You could literally play that whole like crazy ass mission on that. You could do him getting into the space travels like the N6 program. You could turn it into all the things in between. Because, like, you have a whole lot of years in between where he's just patrolling around, like, looking for Reapers and shit and trying to figure it all out.
There's a
So-
story to be told there.
There's
Yeah.
just plenty of stuff from, like, before, and if you could do after. I mean, yes, everyone would love to see how, like, things played out for all the other characters. And if you could port your character over and, like, if people died, you know, they wouldn't be there. But just think about, like, the Krogan genocide. And, like,
Yeah.
all that. There's so much you could expand on in a prequel.
Mm-hmm. I like that idea. I also like the idea Tony had where, like, you'd be a totally different character. It would be taking place after Mass Effect 3. So there's people from Mass Effect 3 still
Mhm.
around that you get to interact with, but you're not necessarily Shepard.
You could have new enemies.
Yeah.
You could have an entirely
You could
new
have a
world.
totally different story that
You could go to new
involves
places.
characters
Well,
from the past.
and here's the other thing. The Reapers had this whole cycle,
Familiar
if you remember
faces.
that, right?
Yes.
So you could instead bump this forward a bunch of years. Because, like, Liara Tassoni, she lives for a very long time. There's other races
Oh,
that
yeah.
live for a very long time.
God damn, she
you
does.
could keep those characters. But hear me out. You could have new races because since the Reapers have not killed out, the cycle's still going. Or the cycle's broken, but like planets are still evolving with life.
Yeah.
So like a lizard on one planet could now be a race.
Yeah, there could be new races that you discover, or have been discovered.
I personally like the idea of you being able to pick what race you want to be, like
a character creator.
Yes. And I just like that idea because it gives me the idea of like Oblivion.
Yeah.
Like Elder Scrolls, you can pick your own character and kind of make your own character like that.
It turns into an RPG more than
But for Mass Effect,
an action game.
I don't know.
Like still with a story, not like it still has a story, and it's not like an open world.
Of Mass Effect was the protag was a person.
Yeah,
and
it's
there
not
was
like...
a story connected to your events, and it wasn't just some rando you made.
But see, I'm not talking about like yes, you make your own character, and that like
cinematic.
The story revolves around that character, and it becomes cinematic. It's not like Elder Scrolls in the way that it's open and you just run around and do random shit.
Yeah, that was Andromeda. It was not great.
Kind of like building on what Cyberpunk kind of did with the main character. You could customize them, but you were still V. You still had the story of you, and you didn't really have much choice.
Exactly. You were still because like all the Mass Effects, you could make the first name whatever you want, but you're always still Shepard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a size slider.
Oh, I totally forgot there was a character creator.
I want to play it.
In Mass Effect,
but I don't. I don't know what is
Mass Effect?
Called? No,
Cyberpunk.
What's it on?
What Cyberpunk?
Yeah, what's it
like
played
every
on?
platform.
Every platform,
on every single platform.
But
yeah, except Switch.
Is it working now? Is it fixed on?
Yeah,
things?
I heard it was
on
like
PC. At least it's been patched to hell.
I mean, PC I never had any issues on, but
I don't know. I mean,
heavy issues.
Maybe that might be.
It's a really good game. I haven't had the time to play it, so I've
taken a break.
It's not that I've lost interest. I just like every time I pick up a game, I'm always wanting to play with friends, and I'm like, well, I don't want to just play a game by myself right now. So
I got back into Persona 5, so that's kind of
Nate and I like call each other. Like we don't really game together. We'll just like be on Discord talking.
We'll see.
So while we play games, so we're not alone.
I hate doing a single player game while people are with me. I like to immerse myself. I replayed all the Mass Effect games
what I do.
From like first to third, and I tried Andromeda, but I got like 20 minutes and I was like, you know what, I'm good.
If anybody ever invites me to a party or something and I don't answer, it's because I'm playing a single player game.
Exactly
I'm not talking to anybody.
What I was telling him
Only
is
my
like
first run through.
We'll
I've left
we'll
parties
get on
before.
Discord,
You even know that.
And
Sorry.
No. What I was telling him is we get on Discord and we'll like talk, but like there are times where it's just completely silence because we're like immersed and neither of us are like mad about it. We're just like.
Well, I only talk to you when I'm going through a dungeon or something. Yeah. When it's story stuff, I take the headphones off and I just you might have said something.
I didn't even play when I first played Destiny 2. I didn't even play with anybody. I played by myself just.
That's
for the
how
story.
I played Destiny 1 the whole way through.
The way I
did that too for Destiny 1.
I can immerse myself in ADHD mode. So when there's a cutscene, I just block everything around me except for the cutscene, and then people will be like, Tony! It's like, I'm sorry, it's been like 30 minutes of movie. What?
Right.
Like Kingdom Hearts 3, I went crazy with that.
I'll be watching the cutscene and focusing on it, and then somebody will say something in the headset, and I'll get totally taken away from it.
But, yeah. Like,
so I think that's really all the time we have to wrap up. I mean, not many new games coming out.
Well, for your interest, I have a bunch that I'm super psyched about.
Like I said, not many, but there are some.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was. I don't even want to get into that.
Oh my God.
But anyway, like I said, we're running out of time.
Yeah, let us know how you're liking these podcast episodes. If there's any topics that you guys would like us to discuss, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and we will get through those. And
remember to subscribe, like, hit the bell. Our social media will be in the description. Yes, I want to say Discord for some reason.
Instagram, Twitter.
Description, yeah. Instagram and Twitter will both be in the description.
Also, I think we should mention, I don't know when this episode is coming out. I'll try and get it out as soon as possible. But we just hit over 25 subscribers. So,
yay!
To everybody watching the videos and leaving the comments, thank you so much.
Thank you from all of us, for real.
Yeah, like, it's awesome. We never really expected anybody to watch any of these videos, honestly.
Every one of you is very important to us.
They're getting views, and we really do appreciate it. So, keep that up for us, definitely.
And if Bryce is watching this,
hi.
Go fuck yourself.
And with that, it ends.
Bye.
Bye.
That was for a coworker.